I don't know how we finna say this. I don't know how it's finna come out, but I'm about to say it like this.
Oh, Lord.
We got to stop trying to run to marriage to save us and sanctify us, because that's not what marriage was made for.
Level up one tight, level up two tight, level up tray tight, level up, level up, level up, level up with me, level up one tight, level up two tight, level up tray tight, level up, level up, level up.
No, I gotta answer that. I have to answer that.
Oh, Lord.
Well, before you answer that, you all, let's run it back real quick. Who we got up in the room? Who we got in Think Tank, y'all? We still in Think Tank. We still having a discussion, but somehow this singleness and holiness has switched over into marriage, and you got two married people in here, and we ready to go. I mean,
Okay.
I've been married for a long time now. I'm a granddaddy in marriage.
Oh.
That's how I feel. And then my sister right here, she is a newlywed, so definitely gonna be a nice perspective shift. But real quick, you all, for those that just hopping in, didn't see the first part, go back and watch the first part and then come back and hang out with us. For those that did watch the first part, hey, go ahead and just throw something in the chat that we know that you've seen it already. But go ahead, introduce who all we got back up in here. Who we all got back in the Think
Well,
Tank.
of course, it's your girl, Samaria J. Hi, everybody.
Greetings and salutations. I am Roderick Jones. I also go by Trey. How y'all doing?
Dr. Trey.
Mighty
Big
God.
Dr. Trey. My name Nadia, and I got a lot to say. Listen, the question is, does marriage make you pure? No. Okay? It does not. And I say that emphatically. I'm saying that because I am 200 days in, saints. I know I'm 200 days in because we have a calendar on our mirror. Every day, one of us gets up and marks the calendar. Today is 200 days, all right? And in 200 days, I have learned I am prideful. I am selfish. I have an attitude problem. I like things the way that I like them. Me. But seriously, what I have learned in marriage is that it doesn't make you this generous, fun-loving, soft. People say like soft life. It doesn't. This was the Lord's way of showing me, girl, I got so much stuff I need you to do. And this is the person that's going to refine this in you. Like, this is the person that's going to bring out the ugliest parts of you. And one day you'll get to a place of purification, sanctification. But being married, it was like saying I do. We've been together for 5 years. Saying I do brought about a different level of just, and we don't fight, argue big, like we don't. We communicate really, really well, but the things that I learned about myself was like, girl, you really think you the best thing since sliced bread, and it's moldy.
Oh.
It's giving mold. It's giving you need to be renewed by the word of the Lord every day of your life. It's giving you thought you knew what you was doing and you don't. Period.
Oh.
Yeah. Marriage, one thing about marriage is, we gonna go on just say it like it is, marriage does not sanctify you. And so if you're running to marriage to save you and again make you pure, that's not what you're gonna get out of marriage. What you're gonna find out in marriage is, like my sister just said, you ain't all that in a bag of chips. You know what I'm saying? You ain't really the person that you thought you were. You will find out that that's not who you really are. Because that person on the other side, I like to look at that as my wife is like a mirror of self-reflection.
Absolutely.
And when I see her, I see myself.
Yes.
And when she see me, she see herself. That's why I always make the statement like, if you see her, you see me.
Yeah.
If you see me, you see her.
Yeah.
But when I'm saying that in the sense of saying, hey, you all, my wife is the person that she's gonna put a standard there. She's gonna be like, hey, this right here does not look like this. This right here does not look like that.
Yeah.
But I also believe that when people go into marriage, there's this thing called expectation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And too many times we have our expectations set up so high, and when we get married, we don't discuss those expectations.
Yeah.
And the issue is that we do not want to die to those expectations. And there's another word for what I'm saying in this phrase of dying to expectation. That word is a curse word to a lot of people. Y'all ready?
Lord.
That word is submission.
Oh my.
Nobody wants to be submitted.
Yikes.
Ephesians, it tells us that wives submit to your own husbands as to the Lord. And that's what people stop.
They don't say,
They
please
don't finish the
say
line.
the other
They don't finish the line. Read.
They
Say the other part.
don't stop. Because here on the other side is husbands.
Yeah.
Huh?
Love your wives as
Come on.
Christ loved the church
Yeah.
and gave himself up for her.
Ooh.
It's pointing submission both ways.
Yes.
Because as the husband is submitting towards Christ, the wife is submitting towards the husband because the husband has submitted to the plan or the assignment that's over his life.
Yeah.
And it's not easy because, again, I think my brother Trey said when we took a break, he mentioned that a lot of times it's that expectation
Yeah.
that people do not want to have that real conversation about. Why don't we talk about expectations?
Because it's difficult. Like, I think it's difficult for most of us to be truthful with ourselves about what we desire. And sometimes what you desire, you may think will run the other person away. But you need to operate in that truth because you need to allow that person to see like what it is that you expect. Like me and my girl, we have conversations about expectations all the time because I want us to be on the same page. Because Trey alone, how I live in the
Love you
world,
so much, brother.
it would not like fly with like her functionality. And I know that. And then I also am understanding that how she lived alone, like it wouldn't like really work for me. And so you have to have a conversation about expectations because we got to be on the same level. We got to be on the same playing field. And if we're on the same team, like teams have core values. If our core values are not aligned, then we're going to have some problems. But a team has a singular set of core values, expectations, and we all have to be reaching after that. And so the conversation about expectations is just difficult. But if you're willing to have it, it's like those difficult conversations are much easier than a difficult relationship if you don't have them. So
Say that one more time.
the difficult conversations that you have are much easier than a difficult relationship
good.
if you don't have the
That's
difficult
good.
conversations.
That's good, Trey.
So you're going to make life a whole lot harder if you don't lean into those difficult things. And I literally have a running statement for myself. I tell myself it all the time. It's if it's difficult, I do it.
Yeah.
And so it's no matter. Like if it's something that I know is going to challenge me. And so like he said in the beginning, like I love fitness. And one of the reasons I do fitness is because it's difficult. Like it causes me to have to die to myself on a number of different fronts.
Yeah.
And I've been practicing that for a long time. And so if I can be disciplined in these other areas, I got a line brother who tells me that if I can apply the way that I work out or the way my methodology in those different aspects to anything else, that I'll be unstoppable. He told me that like years ago. And so I really do take that and I really try to apply it. And so even in a relationship, if you're willing to have difficult conversations, no matter what it is, and I say conversations, not arguments, discussions, not arguments, because it like at one point, like our conversations have been so peaceful that I was like, well, why? I was like, why aren't we arguing?
Something's
Something's off.
fishy.
Something's suspicious.
Something's not
There's something
right.
off. But it's not. It's actually healthy.
It's very healthy.
It's just very healthy
It is.
communication because both of us understand that there are certain rules. Like we don't scream at each other. I'm
Absolutely.
not raising my voice.
Absolutely.
I don't use curse words when we talking because
Absolutely.
like that's just not what we do. We like there's a certain standard, and so it's a very like you have to like we got to come down. We got to sit and talk. It's hey, are you in the right place to have this conversation? Like it's a lot of things that you got to do,
Yeah.
but that level of intention that I'm willing to have about the expectations that I have and to tell her the truth about what it is that I'm expecting allows her to know it. And then she can decide what she wants to do with that information. And then if she decides that, you know what, I can get with that. Or maybe she does the same thing. She tells me something that I'm like, man, I don't really want to do that. But I'm like, I'm going to do it.
It's difficult when I'm going to do it.
Right.
So if it's difficult, just do it. That's simply
if it's difficult, do it.
do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how you know you got your credentials, bro.
It's worth it. Don't he?
All right.
Don't he?
Yeah, that therapist came up out of him. But for me, I didn't have that same mindset going into marriage. Can I be totally honest with you?
Yeah.
I felt that if we argued, then we was in a bad space. If we had a disagreement, we was in a bad space. I didn't look at it like how you just said it. Like, no, those disagreements are healthy in the sense you can't avoid them.
Ooh, so
and I think that's something I wish if I did have like a time travel machine, I could go back on certain conversations and be like, I wish I did not avoid them conversations with you, because in the moments I could have seen things, or we could have talked about things that wouldn't have came over in other conversations. You get what I'm saying? But I thought avoiding them was the best way to go about approaching that difficult conversation. And I think you just helped out a lot of brothers that are listening right now that are trying to avoid those difficult conversations.
So to that, because I think that, so I love research, but there's these psychologists who do a lot of research with relationships. They are the Gottmans, so you can go look them up. But they say that 66% of problems that happen in a relationship are unsolvable. 66% of the different conflicts you have in a relationship are unsolvable. Now, if I got 66% of problems, that probably means I need to know how to communicate.
Yeah.
Because
come on.
But that also means, because if you really understand like how like strength and development, growth happens, is that, well, that tension and that friction, that difficulty is also where growth happens.
Absolutely.
And so if it's like up is down, because
literally
it's through those difficult conversations where our relationship grows, it nurtures, it's developed, and we get better.
Yeah.
So by not leaning into the conversations, I'm not leaning into the love and the development of the relationship and into my partner and my development. And even, further, it's the relationship with God, because that's what God is trying to do with us and like through us. It's like, hey, lean into that.
Yeah.
That little selfish part of you, that little part of you that don't want to talk, that part of you that like that little baby Trey that didn't want to, do this, that, and the third, the baby Nadia, the baby Sammy, like, it's like, it's like stuff that God is trying to like tool out of you. And it wouldn't be evident if you did not be in relationship with somebody else. Because to your point, I believe that relationships are revelatory. Like they reveal things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? It is not like a mirror actually shows you a picture it's backwards.
It is. Yeah.
Right? But when you're looking at another person, you see them as they are.
Right. Yeah.
Right? And so that's why a relationship is so good, is because you're seen as you are. You're seen as the truth. It's not a mirror per se. It's even better than a mirror.
It is.
Because then it's even more loving, because the person sees me as the truth, like as I am, and they stay.
Ain't that like the Lord?
You took the words right.
Because if we're image bearers, and we're bearing the image of God, and if we are the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus, and he looks at us and sees his son, and no matter what we do, he still loves us. And if the relationship that we have in marriage is supposed to mirror the relationship that Christ has to the church, it's no matter what.
That's that unconditional
I'm gonna
love.
roll on the floor and shout. Okay.
That constant grace and mercy.
So good. It's just so good. It's so good. One
Every
thing
day.
that came to mind while Trey was giving us this great, somebody take up with the cash up, with offering.
Right.
Something that came to mind about the whole
Trey.
expectations thing is I was watching this show called The Chosen on Prime, and it's about Jesus and the disciples, and I think it's Matthew. Is it Matthew? Peter is wild and crazy on the show, and his wife comes to him one day. He's gotten into some trouble, and she's comforting him, and he's talking about how terrible he is, and then his wife says, separate, in other words, we're no good, but together we're perfect. And something I learned really early on when we first got married was I can't want my husband to be like me.
Oh no.
Because if I want him to be like me, that's just out of my comfort. That's me. It is narcissism. It's me wanting to be comfortable to say you do everything like how I do, so you cause me no conflict.
Right.
But if you are you and I am me, we complete the thing. Now we have both sides. We have the clean, we have the not so clean. We have the, and I'm not going to tell you which one is which. We have the organized, the not, and it makes the balance. And it really mirrors how we are with the Lord, that we are the flesh. And he is the supernatural. And when he engulfs the flesh, how amazing, how glorious, how powerful, how majestic when we submit to that power what God can do through us. And it's the same thing in marriage. If you take that perspective of what God can do through this covenant, I mean, that's how babies are born. Literally, life is made through covenant and submission. New life, new generations, new ideas, all of these things are made through submitting to covenant. Like, that is, when you think about it in the majesty of what marriage is, it's beautiful, and that's why it's so hard.
It's beautiful, and then it goes back to something Sam said in our earlier conversation that we was talking about with the singleness piece, when she was like, I like being selfish. Yes. That's basically what my sister was saying. Like, I like that
I
part.
don't like how you calling me out like that.
but that's the thing though. Too many times we have gotten so comfortable with being selfish. Yeah. But if you are called to marriage, there's no way possible that you can be selfish.
You gotta let it go.
You have to die to yourself. And in order to be able to see this beautiful thing, create all these other beautiful things within it, you have to die to yourself and understand that God is creating something through you too. Yeah. That's the truth of the assignment. Yes. And that's what makes marriage a beautiful thing. And it's difficult at times because you're selfish.
Yes.
And if you're not honest with yourself and you don't say, hey, I'm selfish, then guess what? You're going to miss out every time.
Every time.
And I say this to Whitney all the time. If we're having a conversation and in the conversation I say something, I'm never saying it to attack you.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is because of who I am and because I love you, I'm saying these things out of my mouth because I want to breathe life into whatever that situation is that we're talking about. I'm not the person that's trying to cut you down. I'm not the person that's trying to tear you apart. If anything, I'm trying to make sure I see you grow. And I have to take that same advice for myself. When she see things that I'm doing and she say, Floyd, you could do better. And I shouldn't have that little Floyd in me get upset and be like, how you going to tell me how to do? It should be always, you right. Because I don't always see the bad things in me.
Yeah.
But she does.
Yeah.
Brown Baptist does not always see the bad things in me, but she does. It's a lot of things that Nadia is my sister that we have conversations about, but she still does not see that version of me that my wife does.
Absolutely.
And so that's the beautiful part about it, because you get a chance to share those spaces with them, and you miss out on those intimate spaces with that significant other if you've been called to marriage, if you don't know how to die to yourself.
And to your point of presenting that true self, like that's the vulnerability that you want to always like show, because if I present a lie to somebody and they attach to the lie, then I've not developed an actual relationship because they've been attached to the lie. And then when the true self actually emerges, what they now will be wondering is like, who is this person?
Where you come from?
Where'd you come from?
Who are you?
You're right.
This is not who I married.
Yeah. And so it's imperative, and it's the most difficult thing sometimes to just be who you are and allow that person to see. And vulnerability is a willingness to share the weaknesses. Like what you said. Like, it's not she sees it, it's that I offer it up. It's a sacrifice of sorts, which is, I think, why it's a sort of dying to yourself. It's like, hey, this is an area that I've seen. But there's the known knowns, and then there are the known unknowns. One of my boy Bradford told me about the Johari window.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so it's essentially like there are things that I know, and then there are things that I know that I don't know. And then there are the things that I don't know that I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult concept, but
this is a therapy thing. I'm having a great time.
You only know what you know.
Yeah.
And when somebody else is close enough to where they can see you, like they can point it out to some degree. And the good part about it is when you got somebody that loves you, they know how to point it out, because it's a vulnerability. It's a weak point. It's tender, and you don't know it's there. But it's a wound potentially, but it needs to be nurtured. It needs to be taken care of, and how they say it, when they say it, where they say it. So like truth is good, but I can't speak truth at the wrong time. Like I got to say truth in the right way.
That's correction and love.
You know, like, and I think it's important to, and that's why, choosing, the right person, the person that actually loves you.
Hey, hold on, wait a minute. He just said something. He said, choose the right person. I'm gonna ask you this: how do you go about choosing the right person?
Look at that fruit.
Come on.
What does the fruit
Pray.
on that tree
look like? Come on.
look like? Do they truly have the fruits of the spirit?
You know,
Do they have the character? Are they
bit more
truly
time.
image bearers?
we always need more
Are they
time.
truly bearing the image of the good Lord?
The thing about choosing what, and I tell people this all the time, I'm not a lover girl at all. Okay, I am not.
That is too much.
I'm not. I've never been. But and I can say this because Trez knows this. When we were dating, I was dating somebody else when we first met, and it was literally me making the decision.
Yeah.
Who fits on this side? Who fits on this side? And I wrote everything down, and I was like, yeah, you gotta go.
Yeah.
No, and it was because I prayed and I told the Lord what I desired and what I know the Lord had told me about my future. Trez was it. And it wasn't because y'all know I preach, Trez don't preach. All the things that I do, Trez is, we in a sense we're polar opposites, but I knew everything that Trez had, we fit. Mm-hmm. It was almost like everything I didn't have, Trez has.
Yeah.
Everything that I knew I was gonna need, patience, gentle, all of that,
Yeah.
the fruits of the spirit, all the stuff that I lack in, Trez has it naturally. I am a very logical, to the point, get out of my face, I don't care, that's dumb. And Trez is like, no, let's think about it. Let's talk about it. And I knew I needed this. So when it comes to choosing the right person, we look at ideas and we put people on pedestals and we're like, oh, this looks good, this sounds good. But the reality of it is, I knew what I lacked.
Yeah.
What
And I
you
saw
needed.
what I needed. And I was like, Lord, thank you for giving me. And that's why
What
I say,
need.
I love
Because
that man
what
real
you
bad.
want ain't always what you need.
Come on.
Yeah. And to the point of the choice, because I think a lot of times we make it really like fairy tale like.
We do.
Yes.
Right? It's like, oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
A lot of
because
people
one
does.
of the running notions is that you will find my person, and there's actually a psychologist who says that he can't think of a more narcissistic thought.
It's so narcissistic.
But and I use that word
Loosely.
in its actual context.
Yeah.
'Cause some of y'all be using it wrong. But
This is not the time.
it's not the time. Okay. So,
All right now.
all right, but it's not finding my person. It's like you want to be the person that the person that God has for you can be attached to. So my intention, and I'll be honest, my intention with my relationship was that I was just focused on being who God wanted me to be.
Right.
And I was praying that, all right, God, I'm open to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just recently got out of a situation where I was like, I shouldn't have been in.
Yeah.
Honestly, shouldn't have been in, knew it from the beginning, and I let go of it. It's as cliche as it is. It's one of those situations where you let go and then God opens up the door
Yeah. Yeah.
and says like, hey, this is what I had waiting for you.
Yeah.
But you just wouldn't let go. And so I think that your focus, instead, it's not find my person, it's be the right person.
That's good, Trey. That's good.
It's you need to be someone that a loving relationship can be nurtured with, because there's this term called epike it's a phenomenological research term that it's a mutual sort of union, and that each person comes to the situation to love each other. To one of Floyd's points is that I'm coming to love her and she's coming to love me. She's not coming to the relationship for what I can do for her. And that's what a lot of different people are coming into relationships and thought processes of being with people for, is what they can do
for them. Yeah.
And that's
Just
not,
like the
a
Lord.
relationship is not what can be done for you. It's what you can give.
That's
It's
the
be-
Lord.
It literally is better
That's
to
the
give
Lord.
than to receive.
That is
there's-
the
and,
Lord.
and there's also science and research that goes into this, like too. So there's that.
So three things. We're gonna definitely put like a at the bottom of this, all those definitions to everyone knows. We're like, we're gonna
Mighty
leave
God,
we
mighty
gonna
God.
leave a glossary or
They told me to leave
something
it
like
I told
that.
him not to come here
Right.
with words. I did.
We always say if Think Tank is a t-shirt lab, and the t-shirt that we made today is be the right person.
Be the right person.
And too many times people are looking for the one, but are you the one?
Yeah.
That's like the question that you got to ask. Are you the one? Are you even in a space that you can take on the assignment of loving somebody?
Yep.
Because I know we don't have a lot of time, but I got to say this because it's them vows that you say
Man.
that really show if you are the one for that person on the other side that you're saying I do to. Because for better or worse, for richer or poor, through sickness and health, you say those things and you say them and you just say them because it's the moment.
Yeah.
But when you in the actual moment where life starts to life,
Yeah.
you got to be the one.
Yeah.
You got to be the right person to be able to stand up and say, I do. Even though I probably don't feel like
And don't
doing,
want to.
I do.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that, because if we're looking at singleness, if we're looking at marriage, the thing that sets it apart, true enough, is holiness. The thing that sets it apart is those things. But here's the part for me that blesses me the most. It's the fact that, are you the one?
Whew. That is so good.
Are you
We
the
can
one
stop.
that's connected to the one? Because if you're not, then no matter what season you in, you're going to fumble the bag when you single, and you're going to fumble the bag when you
Every
married.
time.
Yeah.
But you got to be in a space where you are so aligned with God that you know that you are the one for the assignment.
Yeah.
Single or married.
Yeah.
Bro, you just blessed me up in this room
was
today,
good.
man.
Right,
That was
babe, we
good,
can open
though.
the doors of the church.
Come on,
after that.
listen. Hey.
That was good.
Come as you are.
Y'all, we got to bring this brother back. we gonna drop his email, because I know people gonna be like, I need a counseling session. They finna set up counseling sessions.
Referrals.
We gonna get some referrals for you, all right, man. But thank you for being hanging out here with us in Think Tank, man. Thank you for stamping your name in Think Tank history. We appreciate you, man, because you just blessed a lot of people with the words that you said. And if they don't leave with anything else, be the right person. That's it. Be the right person. Thank y'all for hanging out with us in Think Tank. This is season 4. If it kicked off like this, to the point we just had to go straight into a whole 2 episodes
Man.
together, y'all can only imagine what we got to come. So do me a favor. Keep praying for us. Keep supporting us. But stay safe and protect yourself. Hey, family. Thank you for hanging out with us in Think Tank. Hopefully you enjoyed the conversation. But if you want to go deeper, and I want you to go deeper, and you want to be connected to Christ, here it is. It's very simple. We're going to go through the ABCs. A, accept that Jesus Christ is Lord. B, believe that he died on the cross for your sin and my sins as well. C, confess with your heart that Jesus Christ is Lord. If you did all that, then guess what? You are now connected to Christ. But not only that, we want you to be connected to a family. And how you do that is by texting JOIN to 27636 to be a part of the Brown Baptist family. We want you to be a part of our family as you're connected to Christ. And we want you to have a community that come alongside you as you walk through that process. So do me a favor, text JOIN to 27636. Love you. See you soon. Stay safe and protect yourself.